Welcome to The Explainer. So what does it really mean to be smart? Today, we're going to tear down that old school definition of intelligence. We'll dive into this idea that genius isn't some single rare thing. Nope, it's actually a unique power hiding inside every single kid, and we're going to look at how to find it.
So let's just start with a really big question, right? We all know that everyone thinks differently. We've all got our own unique minds, our own strengths. So, is it really fair to judge everyone by the exact same standard?
And you know what? The source material we're digging into today says absolutely not. It's not fair at all. I mean, think about it. Some people are just wired for logic and numbers. Others are amazing with words. And some are just bursting with creativity. So this whole one-size-fits-all system for school and testing, it just completely misses the point of what makes each person truly brilliant.
And this very idea is what sparked a total revolution in how we look at intelligence. This is where Dr. Howard Gardner's incredible theory of multiple intelligences comes into the picture. And believe me, it completely changes the game when it comes to what it means to be smart.
At its heart, Gardner's whole idea is actually pretty simple. But wow, is it powerful? He's saying that intelligence isn't just one single thing you can slap an IQ score on. You know, the kid who aces a math problem in 2 seconds isn't automatically smarter than the one who needs more time. They just have different kinds of smarts.
In fact, Gardner actually pinpointed 9 different types of intelligence. And his idea was that all of us have these, just in our own unique mix. It's like we all have our own personal recipe for genius. So, you want to see what they are? Let's take a look.
Okay, so the first 5 here cover a ton of ground. You've got your logical mathematical intelligence. That's the brain power a scientist uses to crack a tough problem. Then there's visual-spatial. Think of an architect who can see a whole building in their head before it's built. Intrapersonal is all about knowing yourself, really understanding what makes you tick. And on the flip side, interpersonal is about understanding other people, which is what makes someone a great team leader. And of course, musical intelligence, that natural gift for rhythm and sound that a great musician has. And then we have the last 4. Linguistic is the magic of a storyteller who can paint pictures with words. Bodily-Kinesthetic, that's the amazing physical genius of a dancer or an athlete. Naturalist intelligence is that deep connection to nature you see in a biologist who just gets the ecosystem. And last but not least, existential intelligence. That's the mind of a philosopher, always asking the big why questions about life itself.
Okay, so this whole theory is super interesting, right? But here's the million-dollar question. How do we actually use this stuff in the real world to help our kids? Well, that's where a really practical framework from our source comes in. It's called Genius X Alpha, and what it does is it takes Gardner's big ideas and boils them down into something we can actually work with.
So this ALPHOA framework is a 5-step process that comes from neuropsychology. It's basically a roadmap for turning all this self-knowledge into a real plan for a great life. It starts with A for awareness, just knowing yourself. Then L for learning about how your brain is wired. P is for personality, where you build on your natural gifts. H is for happiness, designing a life that actually brings you joy. And finally, A for action, getting out there and making it happen.
Now, using this ALPH framework, the source identifies 6 main genius types. And let me be clear, this isn't about sticking kids in boxes. Think of them more like helpful guides or archetypes that let us understand a child's natural way of learning and what their built-in strengths are. So here's a quick look at the 6 types. You can see we've got leaders, merchants, connectors, each one with its own nickname and its own preferred learning style. They all have a totally unique way of seeing the world. Let's dive a little deeper into a couple of these so you can really see the difference. All right, first up, the game changer. You know this kid. This is your natural leader, the competitor who is always up for a challenge.
These are the kids who are decisive, they're confident, and they just come alive when there's a competition or some big challenge to tackle. They learn best by jumping in and doing stuff. And yeah, they're usually pretty motivated by that prize or reward at the finish line.
And that right there tells you everything you need to know about their perfect learning style. Competitive learning. If you want a game changer to learn something, turn it into a game. Make it a contest. For them, the thrill of the chase is what makes the lesson stick. It's the best teacher they could ask for. Okay, now let's do a complete 180. Let's look at a totally different type. The information genius, who also goes by the nickname the sage. This is the kid who is all about logic, rules, and order. They love a good plan and really don't like sudden changes. Before they do anything, they need to research it, plan it out, and understand every single detail. It's all about avoiding mistakes.
They're super methodical.
It makes perfect sense then that their best way to learn is through what's called analytic learning. It's a very systematic step-by-step process. Ask questions, make a plan, research, and then double-check everything. For the information type, getting it right is way more important than being fast.
And this is where it gets really cool, when you see them side by side. Look at the information type, who follows the rules and needs a plan. And then look at the unique type, the artist. This kid breaks the rules, works on the fly, and craves freedom. They are two completely different worlds, but here's the key. Both are valid, and both are forms of genius.
So I really want to stress this. The whole point of understanding these genius types is not to stick labels on kids or put them in little boxes. No, no. It's about something way, way more powerful than that. The real goal here is to help them thrive. It's that simple. When you understand their type, you can spot their strengths way faster. You can build an environment that actually supports how they naturally learn. And you can help them grow into their full potential to become the absolute best version of themselves. And this quote from the source material just says it all, doesn't it? When you get a handle on a child's unique genius, you stop wasting all this time trying to find their talent, and you can spend that time building on it. You can help them create a life where they're not just successful, but genuinely happy. And that really brings us to the final takeaway. This isn't just some abstract theory. It's a real tool you can use. So it leaves us with one last question to think about. What type of genius is waiting to be discovered in the kids in your life?